Welcome to another interactive spiral notebook activity, the Adult and Parents or Guardians Review and Input page. What is the purpose of these pages? These pages are important parts of the ISN, which enables the student to communicate his or her learning through a micro-teaching activity with an adult and with his or her parents or guardians. What is a micro-teaching activity? It is a mini lesson that aims to give the students an opportunity to prepare and present lessons to apply the skills taught and learned. Moreover, micro-teaching activity aims to highlight concrete learning experience of the student based on Edgar Dale's Cone of Learning experience. Dale's Cone of Experience is a model that incorporates several theories related to instructional design and learning processes. During the 1960s, Edgar Dale said that learners retain more information by what they do as opposed to what he or she learned through hearing, reading, and observing. His research led to the development of the Cone of Experience. Today, this learning by doing has become known as experiential learning or action learning. Study shows that varying your study methods and materials will improve your retention and recall of information and enhance your learning experience. The learning pyramid, sometimes referred to as the cone of learning, developed by the National Training Laboratory, suggests that most students only remember about 10% of what they read from textbook, but retain nearly 90% of what they learned through teaching others. The learning pyramid model suggests that some methods of study are more effective than others and that varying study methods will lead to deeper learning and longer-term retention. The question is, how will you conduct your micro-teaching activity? Let's start with the adult input page. First, you need to look for an adult that is 18 years old and above, but not your parents. The adult can be your sister, brother, cousins, friends, or can be your neighbor. Then, teach him or her one important topic that you have learned in the quarter or semester. This topic can be simple or complex, depending on your level of readiness to teach the concept. Next is, you need to prepare a PowerPoint presentation or any visual aids to facilitate the micro-teaching. After the micro-teaching, let the adult fill out the adult input page by answering the content inputs in the form. Finally, document the micro-teaching activity by means of photo or a video and include it in your submission. This is what an adult input page looks like. We have the details of the adult, the content input, which contains concepts taught and adults' insights. Of course, you need to let that adult sign his or her name and affix the date. This one is an example of a signed adult input page. Moving on to the parents or guardians review and input page, we added the word review. Here are the things that you need to consider. First, schedule an appointment with your parents or guardians. That can be your mother, your father, your lolo, your lola, or your guardian. Select one important topic that you have learned in the first quarter or the semester that you would like to teach them. This topic again can be simple or complex depending on your level of readiness to teach the topic. You need to practice. Third, you can prepare a PowerPoint presentation or any visual aids to facilitate your micro-teaching. Document your micro-teaching activity by means of a photo or video and include it in your submission. After the micro-teaching activity, let your parents review and evaluate your ISN using Guardian Review and Input page and let them write what they have learned and their insights about the micro-teaching activity. Before the pandemic, preparations are checked by the parents, but now, we will disregard the assignment and preparation part. The parents and guardian can write his or her comments about the ISN as well. These are the examples of the parent and guardian's review and input page. If you will notice, the parents or guardian's review and input page has three parts: the ISN contents, interactive spiral notebook page review, and the content input. Under the ISN contents, you need to include there the pages that we will be evaluating or your parents will be evaluating. On the right side, this is the example of the adult input page or review and input page during the normal classes. We have included there the preparations, but today we will not be using that because we have the new normal. On your left is the new normal parent or guardian's review and input page, and on your right is the old form that I have used in my classes. There are three parts: the ISN contents, interactive spiral notebook review page, and the content input. You will let your parents review first your interactive spiral notebook, following the rubrics present in this form. After that, you will be teaching your parents or your guardian with the concept that you've learned based on the quarter or the semester. You need to let your parents write the learning insights, mga natutunan sa bagay na tinalakay. And of course, the parent or guardian can write his or her general comments and insights about the activity. Do not forget to let your parents sign the parents and guardians review and input page. This is the example of the signed parents or guardians review and input page. I would like to highlight an example of the parents guardians review and input page. This was done in 2018. So the first part is the chapter contents that includes the pages to be reviewed and the number of preparations. Again, in the new normal, we will not be dealing with the preparations because we don't have it. The second part is the ISN chapter parents review that highlights the evaluation of the parent about the ISN of the student. So according to the parent, I learned so many things from this notebook. I commend the bell work activities and the kernel notes. So the parents can actually write his or her comments depending on his or her evaluation. The third part is the content input, which highlights the different topics discussed by the students and the parents' insight. This will enable the parent to comment on the general flow of the activity as well as how the kid or his or her child performed in the teaching process or in the micro-teaching activity. And of course, this will also serve as an opportunity for the teacher to feedback and to comment on the activity after returning the outputs. This is another example of the parents and guardians review and input page, but following the same format, the students created his own set by means of coloring it with a different style, but still the format was utilized. So according to the parent, keep on doing creative things, good job. And of course, the parents can actually write his or her comments about the lesson or the topics that was discussed. And the teacher can again give feedbacks or comments about the activity. The parents and guardians review and input page is also an opportunity for me as a teacher to communicate with the parents or guardians and the students. In your ISN, the left side is for your adult input page, and the parents or guardians review and input page is placed on the right side. There you have it. I hope you will be able to accomplish the adult and parents or guardians review and input pages successfully